Man, what a game. What a night of basketball, bro. Let's just start it off exactly where everybody wants me to. Lakers at Wolves. Bro, Anthony Edwards is the truth, and I don't care what nobody says. It wasn't his most efficient game, blah, blah, blah. I don't want to hear none of that. In the clutch, that man took over. He was making plays on both sides of the ball. He was playmaking well. Everything that Anthony Edwards was doing, this sounds like glaze, but in the clutch was phenomenal, bro. It was a great game to watch. I'm talking about from start to finish. I was locked in. That game was beautiful. So let's go ahead and talk about it from the start. Jaden McDaniels, dude, started off great, ended up having a phenomenal game. The game that he had was so huge, was so monumental because he's over there guarding the guy that's supposed to be their best player in Luka Doncic, and he's still putting up 30 points, hitting the threes, had a great start, was great from start to finish, had like a little stretch where he missed a few shots, but still shot the ball efficiently, just played a great game. Didn't shoot super efficiently from three, if I'm remembering correctly, but dog, just a great game from him. All props to Jaden McDaniels tonight. Yeah, he was 1 for 5 from three, but finished with 30 points, was their leading scorer, had 5 assists, 13 for 22 from the field. Phenomenal game from Jaden McDaniels, man. This is the Jaden McDaniels that a lot of people have been wanting to see, and that we have kind of seen flashes of and everything like that. And this is the Jaden McDaniels, bro, that if the Timberwolves can get this Jaden McDaniels night in and night out, they are a dangerous, dangerous team. On the other side of the ball, LeBron and Reeves were really the only consistent offense for LA, and Reeves wasn't as consistent. He had 20 points, but it was on 18 shots. You know what I'm saying? He wasn't great, but he shot the ball pretty well. 5 for 11 from 3, didn't have a bad game, and on a night where Luka Doncic was very obviously feeling under the weather, did not have a good game at all. LeBron needed some help, and Austin Reeves was that help. Now, unfortunately for the Lakers, there was no other help. Luka didn't have a good game at all, but he still put up 17 points, still got you 8 boards, still got you 8 assists, still got you 7 boards, did all the stuff like that. It's just the other guys on the Lakers, man. Jackson Hayes. This series has been so bad for Jackson Hayes, and he was talking about, before the series, he's talking about Rudy Gobert is my matchup, but he's not my main focus. Buddy, you need to focus on something because you have become genuinely unplayable during this series. Like, I'm not gonna lie, if I'm JJ Redick, I'm probably just starting DFS and running a straight up 5 man lineup of small ball, and I'm starting DFS over Jackson Hayes because, dude, it's been bad. It has looked bad. Ruby Hachimura early in the game was pretty solid. He wasn't playing too bad. He ended up having a pretty inefficient game. Didn't have a good game, don't get me wrong, but he started off pretty well, was shooting pretty well in the couple touches he had. I think he started off 2 for 2 or something like that. So he started off pretty decently, but the Lakers literally had no offense outside of Austin Reeves, LeBron James, and like a spurt or two of Luka Doncic, man. DFS shot the ball efficiently, 3 for 6, 2 for 4 from 3, and everything like that. And he's being tasked with a lot on the defensive end because he's getting the Anthony Edwards assignment a lot. So, but it's just LeBron and Austin Reeves needed some help tonight, man. They did not get it. On the other side, Julius Randle, he is getting rid of that playoff dropper tag, and him being a playoff dropper coming into this series was a major part of the reason that I picked the Lakers over the Wolves. But he's dropped that completely. Like, every single game, he hasn't been, like, dropping 40 and 20 or nothing like that. Like, he hasn't been doing anything insane, but he's been playing very well. 6 for 13, 22 points. Didn't get as many rebounds as you want, but still 5 rebounds is solid. I mean, he got more than Brook Lopez, sorry ass, be getting. Just a solid game for him. He's really getting rid of that playoff dropper tag, and that's one of my favorite things to see from players. As a guy who wasn't the biggest Julius Randle fan coming into this year, or not even the series really, he has been so good over the second half of the season, and during this playoff series for the Wolves, and I think he has, like, in free agency, there were a lot of questions. People were like, dude, where does Julius Randle go? I wouldn't be shocked if he ends up staying on this team. Like, Julius Randle has been good. He has played very well, and I think that the role he has found with the Timberwolves is the type of role where a lot of teams would be willing to spend some money on a Julius Randle player, especially when he's playmaking as well as he's been playmaking recently. So all props to him. He no longer has that playoff dropper tag for me. Now, he could get it back because, like I said, 3 games in the playoffs doesn't erase the history that you had in New York, but hey, you did good. You did very good. And Anthony Edwards, another thing I want to mention, while this wasn't his most efficient game, he ended up 12 for 26. The 5 for 10 from 3 and the 8 assists and the 8 boards were so huge. He was coming in clutch in so many areas of the game. Late when he got the hand on Rui Hachimura and they challenged that call and they said, yeah, that was all ball, which it was. That was phenomenal. He shot 5 for 10 from three when no other Wolf could really shoot well from beyond the arc. I mean, Nas Reed went 2 for 5, and other than that, everybody else, and Mike Conley went 1 for 1 in his minutes. But other than that, bro, everybody was just like mid at best from three. They were inefficient from three, so that was a big part of what Anthony Edwards was doing today. And I don't care what Charles Barkley or anybody else has to say. Him developing that part of his game is in no way a regression. Without that 3-point shooting that he has now, the Wolves would not be leading in this series. So big props to him. Lakers, man. Turnovers hurt them so badly, and it was something that in my notes I wrote it was hurting them bad early. It was hurting them the most early in the game, and then it just stayed that way. Like, it was just rampant turnover after turnover. You could see JJ Redick is out there losing years off of his life, screaming every single time out, screaming every single play. They had 19 turnovers, and there was this one with LeBron, man, in the fourth quarter where he catches the ball on a fast break and just bobbles it, and just the ball goes completely out of his hand. That was a bad one. That is one of those where it's just like, man, mental lapses, mental errors. And this isn't a shot at LeBron or anything like that, because LeBron literally showed up in a big way. In fact, the Lakers just blew a LeBron masterclass. That man goes out there at the age of 40 and puts up 38 points. And he didn't get to 40 even though he had 38 with like 4 minutes left to go. But wasted a LeBron masterclass and everything like that, bro. And it's just like, I don't know. If Luka still is dealing with this stomach bug or whatever it is come game 4, I don't know how you win, because like, even if you get another game from LeBron like this, you just lost when you had a game from LeBron like this. So what's making me think if he does it again, you're gonna win that game? The man was 13 for 21, 5 for 9 from three, put up a 38 point, 10 rebound double. I don't know what more you can ask from him. And don't get me wrong, he has had a pedestrian series up till this point, but it's like, I really don't know what more you can ask from him. So y'all better pray that Luka Doncic is feeling 100% for game 4, because you're going to need him to be, because I don't know how you win this series or how you win even that game without Luka Doncic being supernova version of himself. DFS was in early foul trouble, and so was Nas Reed, but Nas Reed was still able to have a solid game out of it, and so was DFS. It was something that I wrote down in my notes, because I noticed in game 2, especially with Nas Reed and like DiVincenzo, when those guys got in foul trouble early, they started to struggle, they started to have bad games, and now late in the game, Dante DiVincenzo looked bad. He was fouling, he's calling the ref up. You could see him mouthing, like, when we couldn't hear it, obviously, but if you were reading his lips, you could see he called the ref a bitch twice to his face. I was shocked that didn't get a technical, because I have seen star players, and Austin Reeves ain't no damn star. Or, I mean, Dante DiVincenzo ain't no damn star. I have seen star players get techs for much less, so I was shocked that wasn't a tech. But he didn't have a great game at the end of it, don't get me wrong, but it's just like, the foul trouble I thought was going to play a much more significant role in this game than it did. And while this wasn't a Nas Reed phenomenal game, he still ended up having a really solid game, and same with DFS. So, and they still played pretty solid minutes. So, didn't end up mattering too much. The Wolves, man, something I noticed with them, almost every time, at least in the first half, when they could get the Lakers defense in rotation, they were getting a good 3-point look. It didn't matter who was getting the 3-point look. Every time they were swinging the ball, or Anthony Edwards was getting double teamed or whatever, there was no urgency from the Lakers to just get out there and to have a guy sprinting over there and to have a guy just closing out well. And when guys were closing out, it's like they're getting broke, or they're not closing out well enough to where it's still a pretty open look. And that's just not a great thing. If you're the Lakers, man, you need to be closing out better than that. And I think it was like this one possession where I don't remember who gets the open three. It might have been Mike Conley, or I think it might have been Nas Reed. No, I don't remember. It might have been Mike Conley. I don't remember. But somebody gets an open three, because I think it was Ant that got double teamed, and Jackson Hayes just didn't close out well. And I think that was the last time we saw Jackson Hayes in the game, and that was in the first half. Like, it was bad. The Wolves killed in points in paint. Like, I don't know what the final number is. I can go look real quick, but and a lot of that was Jaden McDaniels and Anthony Edwards, dude. They were frying them in points in the paint. Yeah, they had 56 points in the paint to LA's 26. You lost the game right there. You cannot allow 56 points in the paint, bro. This is what the Lakers are missing, dude. They're missing that center. That Mark Williams trade falling through is so bad. It looks so bad right now, because he would have been able to help a lot of this, bro. Like, he's taking over those Jackson Hayes minutes, and you're not letting up 56 points in the paint if you have Mark Williams on your team, if he's healthy. I just don't believe it. Lakers missed a lot of free throws. They were hurt. That was hurting them pretty badly as well. Let me go look what the final number was. I think at one point it was like 13 for 20, and that might have been the final number. But yeah, they just did not shoot well from the free throw line. And in a game that's this close, You need those free throws. Like if you're gonna get the calls and you're gonna get to the line, you need. Yeah, they ended up 13 for 20. You need those free throws. You do. You need them. So that was bad. All right, that's pretty much it. Another thing I want to give props to Anthony Edwards playmaking. I don't know if I already said that, but yeah. Phenomenal playmaking from Anthony Edwards. That is one of those things that has also evolved very well with his game. Pacers at Bucks. Giannis Antetokounmpo. Phenomenal game. The man is doing great things. He's had a phenomenal game every game. He is maybe the most consistent player in the NBA. Maybe. Like, he genuinely might be. At least the most consistent superstar. Like, dude is so good, bro. He dominates this sport of basketball. Bucks offense without Giannis, when Giannis is on the bench, it's terrible. They showed the graphic multiple times tonight, and you could just tell with just the eye test. The net rating when Giannis goes off the court is in the negatives. Like, they are bad, terrible when Giannis is off the court. They can't get nothing offensively. Neither team could really hit a three tonight except for one man, and that man's name is Gary Trent Jr. I have been a fan of his since he was at Duke, and I've pretty much been like, I've always thought he's at least a good role player in the NBA, and I've always been a supporter of his. He's kind of one of those guys like Cam Reddish that I just want to see succeed because I was such a fan of them at Duke. And then he went out there and he was their leading scorer, dog. Gary Trent tied Ray Allen's record for 9 threes. And when AJ Green hit like a logo three right before Doc took the main guys out, he wasn't their leading scorer. Giannis was 37. Like, Giannis led in rebounds, assists, and points for them. Like, he was amazing. But Gary Trent Jr. finished with 37 points as well. So he was tied for the leading scorer. Was 9 for 12 from 3, 11 for 16 from the floor. I can guarantee you that man is going to be starting in the next game. That was an adjustment that Doc Rivers made, and credit to Doc Rivers, who I do not think is a phenomenal coach, who I've been extremely critical of. That was a great move. He will definitely be starting again. And like I said, AJ Green hit a logo three like towards the end of the game when it was getting out of hand for the Pacers. And I really wanted that shot to be swung over to Gary Trent to see if he could have broken the record. And you could tell he wanted the ball. Like, he was calling for it. And then AJ Green hit the logo shot. So I can't be mad at him. And he hit some other big threes throughout the game as well. So I can't be mad at him at all for taking the shot. But man, it would have been cool to see if he could have broken the record. Now, on the other side of the ball, Siakam and Nesmith played very well offensively for the Pacers, and not a single other player did. Benedict Mathurin played all right in his minutes. He was solid. Ben Shepherd gave you some solid minutes. Obi Toppin gave you some solid minutes, but none of them were great. Tyrese Halliburton, buddy, I don't give a damn about that double-double. 5 for 11, 14 points, 4 for 9 from 3 was like the best. Okay, stat line-wise, 14, 10, and 7 is not bad, but I need you to score a little more. When your team needs another, Pierre, I'll give you some water in a minute, dude. When your team needs another offensive guy, that has to be you. They're building this team around you. You are supposed to be the guy. Aaron Nesmith and Pascal Siakam needed your help because Miles Turner was not doing a damn thing. Andrew Nembhard was not doing a damn thing. They needed your help, and you just weren't aggressive enough. You cannot put up less shots than Aaron Nesmith. You can't. Putting up less shots than Pascal, okay. You cannot put up less shots than Aaron Nesmith does in a playoff game, bro. It cannot happen. There is no way that can happen. Damian Lillard, probably the worst offensive game I've ever seen from you, maybe, but you did make some big defensive plays. You had 2 big blocks. You had I think it was a steal later in the game, or if it wasn't, you might not have got credit with the steal, but you had a big defensive play later in the game. You did some good things defensively, even though you were absolutely terrible on offense in this game. Brook Lopez, I went on a rant the last time y'all played about Brook Lopez, so I'm not going to do it again, especially because y'all won the game, so I'm not going to go too much into it. But 0 points, 2 rebounds, 3 fouls. That's all I have to say. Easily Milwaukee's best defensive game of the series, holding a good Indiana Pacers offense to 101 points, and really it was like in the 80s for a while in that fourth quarter, so that's phenomenal for Milwaukee. They played a lot of 2-3 zones, so I'm interested to see if they continue to do that. And they forced a lot of bad Indiana misses from 3. I'm talking about straight up bricks, like those weren't even close to going in at all. So, Bucks are now in the series, Timberwolves are now up in the series, and then Celtics at Magic. Another game where a team that was down 2-0 got into the series. Tatum was hooping early, ended up not having the best game, and it's just like in the clutch, dude, Jason Tatum couldn't do a damn thing. It was just he was forcing up tough shots and he was missing them. Now that's credit to Orlando's defense. But the man finished with 36 points and 9 boards, so I'm not going to hate on him too much. Like, I'm not going to hate on him. His first game back, he's dealing with a wrist injury, so for him to do that while dealing with a wrist injury, I'm not going to hate on you too much, but the Celtics did have chances, and specifically he had chances in the clutch, and they were not taking advantage of it. So that's tough for them. Franz and Anthony Black were hooping early, and Franz ended up having a great game. That man, let's see what the final stat line was. It was like 37, I think. 32 with 7 boards and 8 assists. Good game from him. It wasn't the most efficient, and I need you to stop taking all these threes because 3 for 13, buddy. The 3-point shot isn't there. You had one fluke here where you could shoot. Stop taking them. You do not need to be taking 13 threes. Do you think you're Steph Curry? Like, stop it. Paulo Banchero, good game. 29.6 boards, 2 for 4. He was 10 for 25, so it wasn't at all his best game of the series, but the Magic picked up the win, and him and Franz were really the only consistent pieces of offense for this team. Now, like I said, in the minutes that he played early, Anthony Black did well offensively, but then he dropped off quickly. Like I think he started off like 3 for 4 or something like that, and then he started off well. I don't remember exactly what it was, and I don't want to lie on the man's name, but he finished 3 for 8, so it wasn't great, but hey, didn't do terrible. Paulo Banchero, very good basketball player. Derek White ended up playing pretty well for the Celtics. He's just had a good series for them. Jaylen Brown didn't have a bad game. He was 7 for 14 with 19 points, but you just kind of want to see more. Now, a lot of it was because he was in foul trouble with those 5 fouls, so he wasn't really in the clutch like at all, which was an interesting decision. But like, I don't think that the Celtics were really, you know what I'm saying, keying in on that. I don't think they really cared enough to. I don't know though. I kind of would have liked to see him come in a little earlier in the clutch than he did. But who am I to question Joe Mazzulla? So whatever. Porzingis had a terrible game. Maybe he has a concussion or something from that head injury because he had an absolutely phenomenally bad game. Like, he was damn near one of the Magic's best players tonight. He did not have a good game at all. Anybody else I need to hate on? Let me see. Luke Cornett is another guy I need to give props to. He had a solid game in his minutes. Peyton Pritchard, I need you to do more, buddy. You just won 6 Men of the Year. You played 26 minutes and you only put up 2 shots. None of them were threes. I need a little bit more aggression out of you. Let's go back to the clutch. So the Magic offense was really terrible in the whole fourth quarter, which allowed for the Celtics to get a lead for a while and allowed for the Celtics to end up having a good game and allowed for the Celtics to get back into it. But then Franz in the last 2 minutes took over and had some really big clutch buckets, so that's absolutely props to him. So Magic are down 2-1 with Game 4 in Orlando. Bucks are down 2-1 with Game 4 in Milwaukee, and that's the one I'm interested for because if they go back into Indiana with the series tied, we're talking about something now, because if they can go back into Indiana with the series tied, I'm looking for Dame to have a Game 5 masterclass. Now they have to win Game 4 first. And I really want him to have a masterclass there, too, for them to win Game 4. But, because you can't rely on a Gary Trent Jr. to hit 37 points every game. You can't. In fact, it isn't going to happen again. I can almost guarantee you. So, you're going to need Dame to not look like the worst offensive player on the court. All right. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. Thank you for watching, man. All glory to God as always. Shador Sanders still didn't get drafted. I'm not even going to go into too in-depth in that. I'm going to wait till the NFL draft is completely over to talk about that because I have some thoughts. Tyler Shuck, or I don't want to butcher the man's name because it's no disrespect to you. You didn't draft yourself. Tyler Shuck got drafted. Jalen Milroe got drafted. Another QB got drafted today, I think. And I can't think of who it was, but Dylan Gabriel. Yeah. On that note, good night. Great day of hoops. I'm looking forward to tomorrow's game, especially the Warriors game. I hope Jimmy Butler can play. Did somebody get hurt today that I wanted to say get well? I don't think so. Maybe I don't think anyone got hurt today. But Luka, hope you're feeling better for Game 4. All right, love y'all.